What's going on, everybody? Liam O'Reilly, Vermont Economic Realtor. Hope you're doing well. I'm officially under contract at a property for myself. I am purchasing a home. I'm actually purchasing a duplex, and I wanted to talk about why I decided to purchase a property right now. A little bit about my background and why I think, at least for me, in my location in Vermont, and with the property that I have, I'm not going to go into too many specifics about the property, but just you know in general why I decided that this was a good deal, and that now is the right time to purchase a place. The first thing that I wanted to say is I wanted to just start and talk about myself a little bit, about my situation, and give some background in that context. Obviously I'm a realtor. I help people buy and sell homes for a living, and but at the same time I'm a renter. I am a first time home buyer, and I'm very excited to be purchasing my first property. I've been wanting to buy a property for a long time now. With the way that loans are set up, and mortgages, and the way that the real estate profession is set up, as a real estate agent, I'm a 1099 employee, so I don't have a W-2 income, which the banks don't like to see. Because of that, I needed 2 full years of W-2 income. I've been a realtor for going on, I'm over 2.5 years now, going on 3 years actually, coming up quick. I've been a realtor for a decent amount of time, but had to wait until 2 full years of tax returns were in the system before I could qualify for a loan. So why now? Why now? I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty. There's these bank failures. There's people aren't sure if interest rates are going up or down, or home prices going up or down. Home prices are down year over year nationally. What why did I decide to purchase right now? Well, in my opinion, it really came down to the property more than the time. You know, I first of all, I don't think that now is a bad time to buy a home. I think that there's a few different scenarios that can happen where mortgage rates could go up, homes could get more expensive, it could be tougher to find a home, and we're at a low inventory environment right now. So unless inventory shoots up for some reason, which I don't foresee it happening, prices probably aren't going to come down in the near future. So if prices aren't coming down, at least not in my market, at least not here in Vermont. Vermont is such tight inventory, and even in 2008, hardly experienced any pricing downturn. So if I don't think something like 2008 is going to happen, which I don't, because I see the people buying and selling homes, I see how well qualified they are, I see what's going on in the housing market. So if I don't think it's going to be as bad as 2008, and 2008 only saw a mild price decline here in Vermont, then I don't think prices are coming down anytime soon. At least not around here. At least not around my area. They might not ever come down to where they were. This might just be the new price based on the competition. So you know that really leaves the variable of mortgage rates. And in my opinion, if and why are mortgage rates a variable if you're unfamiliar? So mortgage rates, the rate that you have on your mortgage dictates the how expensive your monthly payment will be, right? So the higher the mortgage rate, the more expensive it is for you on a monthly basis to purchase the property if property values don't go down, right? A $500,000 property with a 6% mortgage rate is going to be more expensive and have a higher monthly payment than a 3% mortgage rate. So that's why mortgage rates are a big variable, right? If rates drop, that makes things more affordable, which is great, which would be great for me as a home buyer, right? So rates are pretty high right now, and prices are pretty high. So why am I jumping into the market, and why am I purchasing a home? Shouldn't I just wait until mortgage rates come down? Well, here in my market, inventory is so tight. It is so tight, and I mean, we're part of that is the lack of move up buyer, the lack of people moving out of their starter home and into a larger property. And the reason for that is they're locked in to a great interest rate on their starter home, and their mortgage rate will shoot right up. Their monthly payment will shoot right up if they move into something more expensive. But beyond that, even if those move up buyers come into the market, inventory is still going to be tight relative to the amount of people who want to move here. With the work from home craze, with everything going on you know in our environment right now, Vermont's a pretty safe place to be in terms of, generally speaking, in terms of crime, in terms of natural disasters. People move here for all sorts of reasons. It's also there's less people here. People want to get away, and with remote work, you have the opportunity to do that. And so the driving factors of people coming to Vermont, I don't see that changing anytime soon. And so if I think demand's going to stay high, and then when mortgage rates drop, that's just going to bring more buyers into the market, which could cause prices to shoot up. So even though mortgage rates would be lower, the price might go up or the competition would go up, making it harder for me to purchase a home. So that's kind of why, and I've said this on videos in the past. That's why I think right now could be kind of the Goldilocks spot to purchase a property where rates are still high, but they've come down off of their peak. So demand is lower than it used to be, although it's still competitive, especially here in Vermont. But it's a good time to get in the market where it's a little bit less competitive before either rates come down and the competition goes up and we're experiencing even more bidding wars than we are now, or rates go up and prices likely stay the same because there's not as much inventory. So that's why I think timing wise now is a pretty good time. But as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, it really came down to the property that I found. I purchased something that had sat on the market for a little while. This was not a property that just hit the market that everybody was jumping on. I actually went and saw the property right when it hit the market, and I didn't think it would be around. It was there was a group showing. There were a ton of people at this property, and the listing agent asked me for feedback after the group showing, and I said, I like the property. I thought it was a good fit. There's too many. I'm not going to be. I don't want to compete with people. I'm not going to be able to compete as a first-time home buyer. It's very tough to compete in a multiple offer situation. If I'm competing against people who are putting 20% down, who can waive an appraisal gap, or who are paying cash and maybe don't have to have an appraisal, or maybe they're putting 50% down and again don't need an appraisal, can take on more repairs than I can take on, can have less contingencies than me, then I'm not going to have success against those buyers. The seller's going to choose the cleaner offer every time. There's no way around it. And I know I can't compete. So originally I wasn't interested. I said, there's going to be too much competition. I'm going to wait on the sidelines. But, some time went by, and I submitted an offer. I submitted an offer on the property. They actually, after I submitted an offer, they actually got another offer. But I kept mine the same. I said, look, this is my highest and best offer. If I get it, great. If not, that's okay. I'm okay with that. And it actually went to the other offer. They chose the other offer. They were stronger than me. I mean, no surprise. It's tough for me to compete in a multiple offer situation. Now, that other offer did have contingencies, and it ended up falling through. When it fell through, I was right there. My situation hadn't changed. I was ready to go, prepared, and when it fell through, I was right there to submit the offer and get under contract. And I'm happy to say that today's April 4th. I'm officially under contract. So, as I've talked about on this video many times, that the best opportunities are the ones that are the homes that have sat on the market for a little while, the homes that are overlooked, the homes that are in good condition, but maybe not great condition. Maybe need a little bit of work. Maybe aren't in the best location. I mean, in Vermont here, you don't really have a whole lot of crime and a whole lot of violence. There's not gangs or very dangerous neighborhoods. Not that some neighborhoods aren't better than others, but compared to like a New York City or an LA, where there's probably neighborhoods that you might not want to be in. I mean, I'm not experts in those markets, but just from what I've seen. So here in Vermont, there's properties that have been on the market that might not be in the most desirable neighborhood, but are still in a decent neighborhood. Might not be completely perfect, might not be, completely remodeled, but are still in good condition and are still livable. And for whatever reason, they've just been looked over. And in a market where homes are selling in a weekend, if they're priced properly, when a home sits on the market for a week or for a couple weeks, that gives you leverage as a buyer. The seller starts to get nervous. Listing agents, sellers, they're expecting their home to sell quickly, and when it doesn't, it might not be because the home is bad. It might just be because they have a price wrong for the market, or people are overlooking it, or maybe it just needs a little bit too much work for what people are looking for, are willing to do. And with this instance, it was my opinion that this is a great property. I personally think it's in a great location. I think it's in good shape. It's not in great shape, but it's in decent shape. And it was just overlooked for whatever reason. People didn't jump on it. And so, I saw that opportunity. I took that opportunity. Of course, I didn't get it the first time around, but I was there when it fell through. And I'm excited to see what happens. So obviously, I'm probably in a little bit of a different situation than some of you folks being a first time home buyer. But at the same time, I didn't have to buy. If I thought, it's still a significant purchase to purchase a home. And if I thought that prices were coming down and I thought that renting was a better option for me than, purchasing a property, especially I went the duplex route, and I think it's a great option. If you're considering purchasing a home, I think having a rental property, having some rental income where, you can live on one side and have rental income pay for your rent, and then you can move out and have that property pay for itself and have it be an investment in the future. That's my whole game plan. That is what I am trying to do. I'm trying to acquire properties. I'm trying to acquire rentals. I think it's a great option, and I would be happy to help you do it if you're looking, especially around Vermont, or be happy to help you find a realtor if you're looking in another area. But I think it's a good way to go. And then eventually, after you have a handful of properties under your belt, you move into a more permanent single family property that's less of an investment and more of, you're not purchasing it because you think this is going to make me a millionaire. You're purchasing it because it's what you want. It's what you want out of life. It's part of, it's part of the enjoyment you get. It's the control. It's the safety, the security. And I help buyers and sellers, all the time with their homes like that too. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's there's a time and a place for that as well. So anyway, Liam O'Reilly, Vermont Economic Realtor. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment in the description. Are you looking to buy a home right now? Or are you waiting? Obviously, you know where I stand. See you guys in the next video.